How do I, 21F, tell my conservative, Asian parents about my, 29M, American BF? They want someone from a good family, but his parents are divorced and both were imprisoned. So we met on Reddit. We're in a 5 months LDR with me in Indonesia and him in the US. Things are great, and even though it's still early, we both agree we're in it for the long run. He has applied for a passport, obviously no date on when he can fly in yet. We've talked at length about our cultural differences and future plans. He's excited to meet my parents, and we're hoping they'll give us their blessing because that's just how it is in Asian culture. It's not possible for me to marry someone without their blessing. They also still treat me like a child most of the times. My parents are conservative and devout Christians. I'm pretty sure they don't mind me marrying a foreigner, because they're pushing me to stay abroad after I graduate from my masters. But they've told me not to be together with someone whose parents are divorced. Meanwhile, my BF works as a probation officer, has 3 dogs, and lives with his bedridden grandma. The house is his, because he's taking care of her. His parents are divorced. Dad was in prison for domestic abuse, mom was for drug charges. He's not close with the rest of his family because he said they won't take care of the grandma and just using her for money. I wanted to keep the more unsavory details like the felony under wraps and just tell my parents that his are divorced. That definitely will come up, as my parents are inquisitive and a bit overprotective, although I understand how they'd be worried because their daughter is in a relationship with, to them, a stranger she never met from halfway around the world. But he wants to be completely honest with them because he feels that his family and life experience are what make him the person he is today. He feels that if we hide something it'll come out sooner or later, so might as well just be upfront from the start. How do I best approach this? I'm worried they won't be able to accept him and see he's a good person for me and would instead focus on his family. I don't want to break up with him, but on the other hand it would be hard for me to keep the relationship if they don't approve of it. I'd really appreciate any advices and insights. Thanks. Too long didn't read. I don't know how to tell my conservative Asian parents about having a foreign boyfriend whose parents are divorced and were imprisoned. My parents had said I shouldn't be with someone whose parents are divorced and they want someone from a good family. I'm worried they won't be able to accept him because of his family even though he's a good person. I'm neither conservative nor Asian, and I'm not against divorce, but that seems like a serious amount of baggage in a partner. He is much older than you, he works in a pretty rough profession, his dad was in prison for domestic abuse, his grandma needs everyday care. I mean, it's good that he's taking care of her, but how is he going to move to Europe with you? I wouldn't pick a partner like that for myself, although I'm much older than you are. I've noticed that one of the issues that people who were raised by strict parents have is that they don't realize that the 99.5% of the real world that was unacceptable for their parents is not all the same. For example, to someone raised in a sexually conservative family, kissing on the first date and having group sex with 10 strangers feel pretty similar in terms of how forbidden they are, but actually there is a large difference between these actions. You never met him, you only know what he told you. He can be married. He's 29 and said he's getting ready to settle down. You however have your entire life ahead of you, including finishing law school and living your life. I'd be extremely wary of how fast he's moved on after breaking up with his ex. It took me over a year to overcome a 10-year relationship breakup, and that's considered hella fast. He's going turbo and likely has lots of emotional baggage that comes with a relationship that's almost a decade old. While it's great he's getting a passport, he's eager to get into another relationship, hence why he got that passport so soon. If he's already taking care of his grandma, then you will be too if you move in together. I mean, this is the most respectful way possible, but the only other objective way he'll likely move out of the States is if grandma dies first, unless he's willing to move her out of country himself. It hasn't even been 6 months yet. The internet is a great and all, but you honestly, really can't discern who someone really is until you've met them in person. Don't discuss any further about moving in. It's all fantasy bliss right now and not at all realistic. You're too young and too early into the relationship with this guy to even be worried about this. Sounds like you've never even met him in person. If you enjoy talking to him, then go ahead and continue the relationship, but I wouldn't go through the trouble of starting any drama with your parents over him yet. My M31, wife, 28, wants a divorce because I live an entirely different reality with my first love, F29, in my dreams. I, M31, have been with my wife, F28, for 3 years. We had a short engagement, married quick, and have a perfectly ordinary existence. I love her, she loves me. We do taxes, housework, watch movies, all the normal things. No physical cheating on either side as far as I know. But here's the thing. I am a lucid dreamer, which means I can, to an extent, control my dreams, which is something I find cool as it allows me to go on adventures while asleep. It also makes scary dreams not so bad because I can just wake myself out of them. Over the last year or so I've been having a recurring dream about my ex, my first love, F29. Truth be told, I never got over her. We were together for 5 years from 15-17 to 2022. We broke up after I graduated from college because she didn't want to move from New York to South Carolina with me, which is where the biggest industry for my field is. I was crushed but moved on, and we spoke sporadically over the years, though we never crossed any lines. I will admit that I've kept up with her own social media a bit, but nothing stalkerish. Well, a year ago she announced she was getting married, and I experienced a resurgence of feelings for her, though I never acted on them or told her. That same night, I dreamed about her for the first time in years. In the dream, she showed up at my door and asked me if I wanted to get coffee. I said yes, of course. The dream, which was not a lucid dream, ended there. It felt so real. I couldn't shake the feeling once I woke up. It felt like we were actually reconnecting. Since then I've dreamed about her several times a week, and I've practiced going lucid, so I've been able to control the outcome more times than not. We've lived a whole life together over the past year. Everything from dates to a trip to Paris together, which we visited while in college. We even re-walked the same paths we did in real life. It got to the point I was looking forward to going to sleep to be with her. Fast forward to today, my wife told me she felt distant from me. And I started to feel guilty because I thought what I was doing was harmless, but she's obviously noticed a change in me. So I confessed about all of it. At first she thought I was joking, but when she realized I was serious, she accused me of cheating on her and told her mom and sisters, who are calling me a cheating weirdo. She even threatened to tell my ex so she'll know what a fucking loser I am. Now I get that it's not anything a woman would want to hear, but it's not like I physically cheated. I don't want to lose my wife, but I don't think she can forgive me for this. Too long didn't read. I live an entirely separate life with my ex in my dreams, and now my wife wants to divorce me. But I really love her still and don't want to lose her. Do we have a chance? This is so weird. I'm not surprised she wants a divorce. This is emotional cheating. You're more excited to spend time with your ex in dreams than with your actual wife. If your wife did this, you would feel the same way she does. Are you willing to sacrifice your marriage for an ex who had moved on? No one can compete against a fantasy, a dream, and your wife has recognized that it is beyond her. Yeah, no, I think this might be a lost cause. I would certainly consider this cheating, and I think that it does indeed warrant a divorce. Clearly don't really love her, at least, not as much as you love your ex. His love for his ex looks more like obsession. As a person that has exes, and I just happened to get engaged 6 months ago, I'd be so creeper out to find out an old flame was this hung up on me still. Truth be told, I never got over her. Yikes. You had no business leading this woman on by marrying her. You absolutely should be divorced by your wife. No one deserves to be told by their spouse that they are their second choice. No one deserves to be told by their spouse that they are competing with a fucking fantasy. She deserves better than a man who has an emotional affair with his dreams. Let her go and get some therapy for your issues. BF, 28, said very hurtful things to me, 23 while drunk. So me and my boyfriend are in a relationship for half a year and we generally have a very pleasant and respectful relationship. Yesterday night, he got drunk, while I was studying for an exam I have coming week. We started to have a convo about something we disagree on, so I asked him to stop it because he is drunk. As a typical drunk person, he insisted on staying on that topic. Quickly he started to call me unambitious, pathetic and dumb. He told me my degree I have been doing for 3 years is useless and I am fool for thinking that was a good idea. He said it's pathetic that I still don't earn a lot of money and it's unambitious that I don't have a concrete plan for now what I will do after my degree. He also said that my introversion will never get me anywhere and is embarrassing. This all really hurt me because he has never hinted to anything like this when sober. Now I am wondering, was he just drunk and talked shit, or is this really the unfiltered version of what he is thinking? He is a rather successful guy, so I don't think he is projecting. He gets this shit-faced drunk once a month and it's always out of control. Too long didn't read. BF said very mean things to me while drunk and I don't know whether this is actually what he thinks about me. You've only been with him 6 months and he's giving you horrid verbal abuse whilst drunk. Dump him. This is an auto dump at any stage of the game, TBH. If someone slings insults at you, fuck 'em. Being treated with respect is absolute bare minimum. In vino veritas. In wine, the truth. You've only been dating 6 months and this happens? Plus this, he gets this shit-faced drunk once a month and it's always out of control. Nope, end it. The fact he would talk to you that way no matter what state of mind he's in is not cool whatsoever. Really just toxic and negative vibes. They say it's from drunk people and children you hear the truth. Not about you, but him. Mean, unfiltered, whatever the reason, it's not an excuse to treat you like that.